So the first tutorial in this series is going to be about corrective EQ. This is the first stage of mixing which I do. A lot of sound engineers and producers will do things differently and do things in a different order, but this is how I do it, and hopefully I can share with you guys a few tips and tricks that I've picked up along the way in mixing. So to start off, I'm going to give you a little explanation about what corrective EQ is. Corrective EQ is about finding resonant frequencies. Now, resonant frequencies are frequencies which are in the bandwidth and are probably a little bit louder or too prominent in the recording than what we'd like. And the procedure that I'm going to do in this tutorial is about finding those frequencies and just dropping them down gain wise in order to take some of that resonance out of the recording. So you'll be able to identify a resonant frequency by following the procedure that I'm going to show you in this tutorial. Without going into too much detail in trying to explain it without showing you, I'll just say that you'll know when you find one if you've got a pair of decent speakers or monitors. I'd strongly advise you not doing it on your laptop speakers. You can do it, but the frequencies that we are going to be dealing with are very pinpoint, and they'll be very hard to find on something such as laptop speakers. So you'll know when you've found a resonant frequency because when you push up the gain on that certain frequency, that frequency will start to distort, it'll sound really harsh. Some of them might sound quite melodic, but don't be fooled. If you like them, keep them in by all means. It might give the sound a bit more body. Don't go overkill on it, don't take everything out of it, because then we're just taking all the frequencies down and it's going to be hard to mix with that from there. So the first thing we're going to do is get a track region into Cubase 5. This is just a bit of acoustic guitar that I've laid down just prior to this, and what we're going to do is we're going to make sure the left and right locators are set. This is so that we can activate the transport cycle, just so that the region is going to play endlessly, and it's going to help us to really pinpoint those resonant frequencies. So if we go on to edit channel settings, and we'll bring up this default EQ. The studio EQ is probably a bit better in Cubase 5, but I'll use this one just for the demonstration purposes here. So if we arm all the bands in the EQ, and we're going to change them all to a parametric. All this is going to do is it's going to give us a fine point where we can really specifically find those resonant frequencies. What we're going to do is take the Q right down or right up, whichever way you look at it, so that it really goes into a thin point that we can use. So the first one, drag it straight down to 20 Hz and raise that volume right up. And we'll just play this now so that we can find them. So as we raise the gain with the first one, we'll start and slide across that frequency band, and we'll start to hear those resonant frequencies. There's one there. And all we're going to do is pull the gain down on that and take that resonant frequency out of the mix. So the second one, just go back to where you left off, repeat the process. There we can find a really big one, so I'm going to take that out, just drop that down. I'd recommend about -10. You can go more or less. You might find a frequency that you particularly like and that you want to keep in there, but the point of this is that we're not taking these frequencies out of this recording. All we're doing is reducing those frequencies. So we're adding more of a balance in a sense between the resonant frequencies and the frequencies that we want in there. It just helps to create a more flat recording, and by flat what I mean is it's more balanced. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to play this again, but this time we're going to bypass this EQ so we can actually hear what we've done. And herewith And here, as I just flick through these, bypassing the EQ and then putting it back on, you'll just be able to hear the difference that this corrective EQ has made to the recording. All we're doing is just bypassing this EQ so that we can tell what a difference it's made, and if we can hear anything else in there that we want to take out. You'll notice that between 1 kHz and 20 kHz there's a bit of space that I haven't done yet. So all I'm going to do is bring up this studio EQ, and all we're going to do is change this to a peak. This one's called a peak for some reason. And we're just going to go down to where we left off on the last EQ, which is about 900 Hz, sorry. And we'll just do the same thing again. Just raise up the Q. And we'll play it again. There we go. There's another one right there. It's worth taking your time with this process because they can be hard to find, particularly in these higher frequencies. But just if you take a bit of time with it, just really listen to it, you'll soon find them, and it'll just make that recording seem a little more professional. And I think that's going to be the last one in this recording. That's without, and without that. What we'll do is flick this on. And the next one. So hopefully there you can hear that it's just really really cleaned up that recording, and it's, as I say, it's just made it seem a little more professional. Don't worry about if it changes the sound and you don't really like it, because you can always go back and EQ it as you would normally EQ over that. And that's going to be the next tutorial in this series. So thanks for watching this. If you've got any questions or queries, then please comment the video or message me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.